right, we are streaming, and in today's stream, folks, is a very special stream, and that we are going to try to finish music. I know, crazy. The current song that I want to work on, or the EP, is it's water themed. We got about 5 songs that I have mostly done, and so we're just gonna revisit it, make some mixing, mastering tweaks, maybe some compositional changes towards the end of this, because I feel like the end of the song gets kind of boring and repetitive. It's very slow. We're at 136 BPM. I mean, it's halftime, so it's like 68, right? And I don't know, that's pretty slow, and it's a dub, very dubby song. But yeah, I think the master gets a little bit too squashed. So I think I'm gonna dial back the master because dynamics are good. And then some compositional stuff towards the end. Maybe not. Okay, that's it's mostly sounding good. There's a couple resonances. I do feel like this last section, it does go on for a bit. It's kind of the vibe. You know, it's like really long and droning, and it's just kind of hitting you over the head over and over again with these like quarter note, pulsing saw wave opening up filter envelope thing. And it feels like emotional and shit, and that's cool, but it is like kind of long, and it's kind of just like one sound. So I'm thinking I need to add like more effects, just like a little bit. Maybe like in this section here when we have like a polymeter going on. There's like a billion sounds happening at the same time. It's kind of a lot. So maybe we compress our vocal a little bit, the vocal shit, all this stuff. Just like do a little bit of that, you know, help it, you know, why not? Maybe we can take the later part of it and start winding it down into the conclusion. I noticed that it came a bit abruptly. What did exactly? The conclude, like, so we have, I need to label the shit here. This is the breakdown. This is drop, oh geez. You are drop 2.1, right? We're in the second drop. That's the first phase. This is 2.2. So 2.1 and 2.2 are like continuate. Like 2.2 is a variation of 2.1, and then once we get to 2.3, then we're in like the pulsing wave thing. A specific polymeter called hemiola. Wait, really? Is that a real thing? Polymeter hemiola. Hemiola is a rhythmic form of counterpoint that introduces a new type of meter on top of a previously existing one, creating a polyrhythm. Isn't that what polymeter is? What the fuck is it? I've never heard this word before. It's 3 against 2. It's just 3 against 2. I mean, that's Reddit, though. Reddit gets shit wrong all the time. It's 3 against 2. But I think I'm doing dotted, like dotted quarter notes or something. Oh. Groups of 3 over double meters. Yeah, because I think I'm doing dotted quarter notes for the pulsing bass, which just kind of does that. Fairly certain, right? So yeah, it repeats every 12 bars instead of or 6, I guess. Or you could just see 3. Yeah. So yeah, that is what it is. Okay, it has a funny word for that. That's cool. Okay, where was I? What was I getting at? Oh yeah, I'm labeling my sections. We got 2.3, and then we got 2.4, and this is the last little bit. No, oh god. 2.4, and then outro over there. Oh yeah, in your opinion, the conclusion is a little bit abrupt. Okay, I really, yeah, it makes sense to put it there because the song, okay, like a riser or something, just a faller or something to indicate that it's coming there. To me, it feels, I do have a very biased perspective because I've listened to this song like 500 fucking times making it, so, but yeah, I'll consider risers and stuff because I think that's just what it needs. We need some like effects, risers and stuff like that, and maybe to die down this group over here. Maybe just less reverb. I think that's what this section could also use. Just all this is just less reverb over here. And then, yeah, this fucker also has a lot of reverb. We'll just do We'll just do that. And then this guy has none. Gotcha. I need to make the pulsing bass more present. I'm thinking even harmonics with bias. I think it doesn't. I mean, added a little bit of white noise riser here. What's up, Hoopla? But I think the outro doesn't need too much more of a hint that is coming. And it gets way too loud over here, right? Yeah, if you like the dub chords, you'll like this section over here. The way I did the chords, I think I'm vocoding from a resonator. I'm resonating a thing to sound. Yeah. We got, it's like a minor 7 chord. No, it's just a minor chord. That's just being vocoded into fucking saw wave, like saw wave, but then being vocoded with it. These dudes. It's not even in key. So the saw wave is just being vocoded with resonator, and it sounds fucking sick. Yeah. I don't know if anyone followed with what the fuck I was just doing there, but I made an envelope follower by routing, by sidechain compressing to my baseline, right? So my baseline sounds like this fucking dude here, right? Which is like, oh, it could be better. It could be improved. But anyways, so I had this thing that was like not very dynamic at all. It's just kind of a brick. The sound. The spectrum is dynamic, but like the sound itself. Anyways, I was like, let's make it more dynamic. So let's make it follow the envelope of that other filter thing opening up. So that's what this is doing, because I have the sidechain compressor routing to that and it's being parallel processed with a polarity inverted phase. Then I lower the decibels of this guy by 6 dB, which means it's gonna, when this isn't being compressed at all, I'm lowering the volume by 6 dB, meaning 50%. And then, so basically I made it so that this is like an envelope follower to the other thing, such that 6 decibels or half of the volume of that other sound is matching with this one. So it like, now it has more dynamics. It has a little bit more envelope. And then I parallel processed it again with this guy, and I polarity inverted it because of the math of how I did it over here, the signal ends up being polarity inverted. So basically, I don't know, dynamics. So now I can really hear the super ugly bass line, which is kind of annoying. So before it was like this. I think that's fine for the most part. Oh, let's put this before. So I have dynamics also on the sub bass because fucking, I don't know, I'm psychotic. So I have a chain. How are you working? How do I control the fucking chain selector? Hello? What's mapped to the chain selector? I don't know what's controlling the chain selector, but we have the chain selector that's opening up and parallel processing with an autopan, right? So that's giving the sub bass dynamics, which is kind of cool. You know, it's pulsing up and down. Anyways, let's put oh, I guess I want this guy over here. You will be pre-effects, the autopan. Yeah. And this sound here is just have a auto filter with the fucking with that up, and we have it over here again. I still don't like the envelope of this fucker. Or something about... I don't know, something about this fucking dude. Yeah. What's your deal? Also, this is a fun thing you could do. You could put you got a disperser. You can frequency modulate the cutoff of your all-pass filter on the disperser. Sounds different, you know? Instead of just having a disperser, you can frequency modulate it, and then you got a different type of disperser. It's pretty neat. Why did I go here? What am I opening? Oh yeah, we need to find what's the width coming from. The stereo width on this is really gross. I don't know. It's coming from you. Is it just wider? It's not wider. We have a swap utility. And we're spreading it. Ugh. 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 What if we hit it with one of these, you know? Actually, you know what? No, what I had before was fine. Let's just EQ out the high-end little sizzle, because there's just like a little bit of high-end that is annoying me. Wait, did I kill the swap utility automation? No, we can... I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Come on. And then just... let's keep a little bit. Let's keep a little bit of it. No, not that one. Not that one. Change the envelope on the sub bass and have it pulse upwards, because right now it's not doing that, right? It's just kind of punching and then stagnant, you know, which is mid. So we can do that maybe. But it's all going into the limiter. It's not really doing a thing in it. Maybe I just leave it. Maybe I just leave it. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I probably spent too long on the song. I should probably move on. Okay, I think I made some improvements to the song. Yeah, I think so. I made it a little bit more dynamic. It was a bit too squashed before. Oh wait, before I move on, I did notice there's a resonance that I need to clean up over here. Also, wait, I fucked up. Is this EQ? Wait, is it not you? It's you. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that until way later, bud. Way later. Let's even boost it a little bit. Fuck it. Anyways, I can't hear the mids resonance anymore. I don't know. I'll just leave that marker for me to figure out in the future. Thank you, Dark Prophet C137. It's a Rick and Morty reference. Okay, let's switch songs. Let's work on another song off the EP. This one I've been neglecting. I know mostly just the snares fucked up. Well, I released this went out on my mixtape thing. Here we go. Yeah, this guy. The song is called Sea Anemones. So we gotta make that one a little bit better. I'm rolling over clothes with my fucking... Everything's all messed up, man. Let's hope Ableton does not crash. And then check this out. Bam! There's a keyboard. How cool. How neat. Very cool. I hate that patch, though. I really fucking hate the stock patch that it starts out on. It is not my favorite. I think this one's cool. Fuck. Don't do that. Yeah, so I think when I did I updated the Osmos, and the global effects kick in like 20 seconds after I start playing it. There's kind of a bug there, but it's alright. Let's do short reverb. This is an Osmos synthesizer. Basically, yeah, it being a wiggly keyboard is like the whole, I don't know, the gimmick, the shebang. It's also got a really, really crazy, like modal hardware synthesizer built into it. The synthesis engine is like kind of fucking insane. It's impossibly difficult to learn how to really use yourself. I mean, you can learn it, but I don't think it would be worth the amount of effort. But the presets that you have with it are fucking great. So like there's like velocity, and then there's like aftertouch, and then there's also pitch bend. And every single patch, you know, has like different articulations of way you play them. Yeah, the high pitch on that one sucks. Then we can like modify the preset a little bit. Software, I'm using Ableton Live 12, though all the sounds right now are coming just from this hardware synthesizer. So Ableton isn't actually doing anything in the moment. But yeah, it sounds awesome. I love fucking how it sounds. It's like a really, really great modal synth. Right, so like when you like pluck it, it's very much kind of like a hammered dulcimer kind of timbre. A little bit. But like you hold it down, and then suddenly it turns into like this fucking, I don't know, brassy synth. So the way you articulate it, you basically have control of like different instruments. We have different effects. I haven't really explored too much of them. We have different types of delays. It's pretty crazy. Sort of the feedback amount. Okay, that's enough of that. We have a song that I should be working on. So let's work on that. If I remember correctly, the snare is way too loud and like the whole master, I don't know, the balance is fucked. So it's a lot of mastering stuff going on. And it's muted. Gave up on making Botanica. I can't do that for the life of me. But this is a song from like last year. I featured it in like the middle of my little promo mix, somewhere from last year, sometime from last year, and I want to put it on an EP, so I'm gonna try to finish it. But it appears at some point in this thing, and so I don't know if you're around for. No, you missed the last song I was working on, but they're all very watery sounding, water themed. So I feel like they fit a theme, they paint a kind of a picture. It would work well in an EP together. So I want to release some. Yeah, I mean it's mostly good. There's just like a lot of reverb buildup, I think. Low mids. Um and some like low mid stuff. And I think the master, if I'm remembering correctly, yeah, the master's kind of quiet, at least relative to the other songs. Or caverny breakdowns. So you hear the cavern effects, but it's distributed diffuse. Maybe give us the punch of a cavern atmosphere that drips water. Well, aren't caverns kind of a diffuse sound anyways, right? You know, like the reverb, reverberation stuff in a cavern would sound pretty diffused. I mean, let's listen to this breakdown here. Let me peep this. You see it more yourself as a journey from water to cavern. Here the cavern effects may be distributed. Atmosphere that drips water. I guess I don't know. Language is hard to describe music and like what you envision, but I don't know what it is that you would want it to sound like. It's, I guess, you know, more something being more or less caverny. I'm not sure what that means, you know? Because like we go, well, in this section here works more, I don't know, the meat of the song is in this bit, right? If you want it more bubbly, I mean, we can add bubbles. We definitely add bubbles, but I do like how it gets very bare and minimal in the way that this downbeat works, you know? No, I mean, I'm happy to hear, you know, advice, thoughts, whatever, critiques, just envisions from other people, because it all is super helpful for me figuring out what I want to do, you know? And it's just entertaining and fun. I just don't know what that means. I would like to, for sure. Yeah. Like, trust me, if anyone's ever being annoying about giving recommendations or telling me what to do, I usually let them know. So I welcome feedback and ideas and thoughts, as long as you're not being a dick about it, you know? So. Trying to think about how I want this balanced. There's too much buildup in low. Okay, maybe remove low mids on the airy synth, because there's too much of a buildup there. in the intro it chopped? Like 2 breaks, no audio? Where? Which intro? The actual intro of the song is way back here. The breakdown, I assume you mean, what, the intro into this drop here? We'll call this, drop 2.2. This is 2.1. Purple area. It's all purple, man. Everything's fucking purple. And this could be, yeah, this is 2. No, we'll call this 2.3, and then we'll call this one 2.4, and then this one 2.2. Yeah. Like what, chopping the drums, you think? Just like cut the drums out for a little bit? I kind of like that. Gonna do some painful manual volume automation with a utility. Hello. Stutter might go hard. What do you mean by stutter exactly? Like a glitch? What, shifting the drums or something? I mean, I'm down to try it. I don't know what that. automation. I don't want to automate shit. We're gonna make the spellbook do it all. You go on you, and then I want you. So this is a cool little bit. Cool shit about the Zebra Filter FM. Please. Stop. Okay, so the Zebra Filter FM, when it's to the left, or I guess, I don't know. Basically, we're using a saw wave as our filter FM source. And if it's cranked to the left, then we're using the saw wave. If we crank it to the right, then we end up using a polarity inverted saw wave. And the polarity of your input source for filter FM matters a shit ton, because that's the difference between a filter opening up and then closing really fast, or a filter closing and then opening up instantaneously. They have massively different sounds. So I don't know. I can't think of any other synths that really have this feature so easily available. But so like this is when the filter is closing really, really quickly, right? It's ramping down. And then this is ramping up because it's polarity inverted, right? And it makes sense how it opening up with a high resonance will create bubble sounds, right? You can also make it more obvious if you use a separate oscillator, and then we just tune that oscillator down, right? And then, so clearly, you know, which polarity you use for the input matters a shit ton for filter FM. And so if you want that like kind of squid bubbly sound, then opening up ramp up filters, right? Yeah. Let's try an octave down. Yeah. Alright, that's too stupid. Never mind. I take it all back. Let's just go in from... Yeah, if there's no input, then filter FM doesn't work. That makes sense. Alright, and then let's use spellbook, hexagram. What are we doing? And then we'll do, what, 50%, and we'll have this offset like that. I don't know why I just clicked. I have no idea why I just clicked. Stupid, actually. I don't know. I just talked so much about this synth, and now I don't like it actually in the slightest. It just doesn't really fit at all. It makes it slightly fatter. We like that, right? Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Let's rewind a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit better now. Yeah, my beef with the sound before was just... There's like a lot of buildup, you know? And just like that sound itself, like it's a cool sound, but it's not large and all-encompassing. You know, I feel like it being, you know, we're listening to a monophonic like bass line at this point, and all we're listening to is just like, I don't know, a really silly FM patch. I think it's this guy, right? It's pretty weird. I like the sound of it, but every time I tried layering other stuff with this, it really did not sound good. Like I tried doing like sine compression basses and stuff, and then that just ends up overtaking. But I think this guy just like works a little bit better. Yeah, no. I don't know. Okay, whatever. We made the song sound a little bit better. I'm already losing perspective. That's the fucking problem. With producing for too long. You know, the first song, I feel like I was able to lock in and make the mix better for a good while, and now I feel like I'm already burning out. All right, we're switching songs. When you feel like you're getting tired of a song, you switch. Other song that we're gonna do is this one. This is a pretty old one from 2020. Wow, it's almost 6 years old. That's crazy. That's nuts. I don't like that. Want to mess with my intro I just started? I'll listen to it. I won't touch it though. I got to be productive. This is the productive stream where I finish music that, you know, has been needing to be finished for 6 years evidently. Wouldn't mind some variation bass intensity on it too. Yeah, maybe like on the downbeat or something, or like every like 4 bars it like picks up or changes a little bit. The thing is, like, I don't think the bass should be the main focus of that bit because there's so much like counterpoint and there's different interacting melodies all going around. So like I don't want oh, do I not have my Discord linked in the Twitch? Damn, I'm the worst Twitch streamer. I'm absolutely terrible. I definitely don't have any bots or nothing, so I need to figure that out. Maybe it's about time I figure that out. Maybe this is why no one watches me on Twitch. No, okay. Discord is linked in the bio, so you could join in there and you could drop a thing in the feedback and whips. Feedback and whips. Oh, Exon dropped a thing in there. Exon, if you're still, I don't know if I'm on in the background or not, but if you're in the stream, I'll give you feedback right now, or I'll just do it after the stream. Okay, let's run the song. It's called Deadmau 5 V4. Cool. Very cool. I like the chords. I like how the chords switch up. Hey, what's up, Exon? I'll listen to your thing in a sec. I want you should make it longer before it starts getting all noisy and you start getting hit with like a wall of sound. I feel like you could double the entire length of the thing. And then add, I don't know, like arpeggiating stuff. Yeah, just like the chords being arpeggiated, little bleep loops that are like panning around, being delayed and stuff. All right, I'm getting spam called by a friend. Hold on. I need to pick this up. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. That was brief. What's up, metronome? Okay, so yeah, I would extend the thing twice as long because I feel like you could sit in it a lot longer before it starts getting all noisy, and then add ear candy. Give me some stereo imaging stuff. Give me some stuff that like after, you know, like the first 16 bars or whatever, the length of the thing that you already sent, then add, I don't know, stuff flying around your head. Cool little melodies and stuff like that. And then yeah, you can make it a lot longer, and then you can do that for like 64 bars or whatever the fuck, and then you can do a build up and then go into like progressive house or trance or whatever the genre is that you're going for. Sounds like trance though, because it's named after Deadmau5. Okay, cool. Let's Exton says, started this last week, I was playing with it today. Maybe tell me one thing you like and one thing you don't. Okay. I'll just say the intro gets pretty resonant. It sounds fucking sick though. It's pretty resonant in your mids. Definitely can hear. I would like use a little bit of soothe, just a wee bit, a smidge, not too much in your mids on I don't know, all the shit that's super resonant. Okay, that little screaming guy, he's a little bit too loud, I think. I think the drop could use a little, like a fucking smidge, a tiny hair of silence. Because like it's like really, really noisy, and then the kick drum hits, and then there's a different noise immediately. And I feel like if it's just like mostly silent in terms of the noise aspect, and then like when the snare hits or something, then all the other synths come back in, that would make it hit a lot harder. I think. I'm going to rewind to the drop again. Or maybe it's just like the screaming guy. He's so loud that it overpowers the drop. So I would just turn down the thing. Can you talk about how I'm using mini meters? What are you looking for? How are you reading them? I'm just looking. I use like pretty much only the spectrogram. Like that's it. When I do sound design, like doing FM synthesis, looking at the oscilloscope can be really useful. Just to like gain an intuition for, oh, I twist that knob, it's going to speed up and slow down the waveform within its wave cycle, and that gives the waveform edges. And if the waveform has edges, then it gets even harmonics. Shit like that. You start to intuit patterns, and it helps a lot. But the oscilloscope, I really don't use for any reason other than that. Otherwise, if I hear, basically, I use mini meters to corroborate my hearing. So I'll be like, oh, something sounds a little bit resonant. I'll look at mini meters and I'll be like, oh yeah, like 200 hertz. There's like a even deeper color, yellow or red or whatever of some resonant frequency. And I can immediately pick out, oh, okay, that frequency is a little bit too resonant. Or it also helps you like dissect sounds a little bit easier. You know, like for instance, like Exon's using a lot of Redux right now. And when you use Redux, you get these like ultra high whatever supersonic frequencies and stuff like that sitting around like 10 plus kilohertz. And so I might not immediately notice it. I might just notice like, oh, like it's really noisy and really bright. And then I'll see, you know, the frequencies start cascading down as the redux happens. I'll be able to pinpoint, oh, that element is reduxing. Stuff like that. It helps you, having the visual audio thing, it helps you like figure out what you're listening to and what frequencies they correspond to and how they might be interacting with other things in the mix. But largely it's just like, I don't know, I hear thing that sounds problematic. I look at the thing in that area and generally you'll be able to see a visual indicator that the problematic thing is there. You know? Yeah. Yeah, that's my that guy's also really loud. The synths are just real loud. Yeah, like that guy's like 3 times as loud as all the other elements. I would turn down the boo wee woo, that little guy. I'm so good at singing and mimicking sounds. Turn him down like 8 dB. Make them all match loudness. So all the synths that are playing beforehand, right? That should be your like bass loud. That should be like how loud everything else gets. If you want other things to be louder than that, you can like distort them and squash them, but you should like attenuate the volume so that they're still roughly the same volume, because the whole song is pretty loud, I think. And I know I'm just giving like mixing advice per se rather than like creative advice, but oh, you liked it? Okay, then fuck what I think, honestly. You know, it's down to you at the end of the day, but it feels, at least in my listening setup right now, it's like overbearingly loud relative to the other elements. But you know, it's all creative shit at the end of the day, but I do think this is more of an objective thing, honestly, but because I'm talking about loudness of particular frequencies. Maybe still keep it pretty loud, but like you could turn it down a little bit. Or maybe just put a compressor on all your synth groups and then just have the compressor tame it a little bit. Find like a I was singing, okay. Yeah, put a compressor on your synth groups as well. So like, okay, if you like that sound being loud or not, you can still turn it down a little bit, 3 dB or something, and then put a compressor on everything such that you're compressing all the sounds together. Because you really want it to, oh, fun fact, YouTube lies to you. Someone pointed this out to me. YouTube fucking lies to you and about where you are watching the stream. So by default, right? By default, you're, I don't know, let's see where I'm at. Basically, you could catch up even further than you think by going to playback speed and speeding it up, right? I do think this is more of an objective thing, honestly. Wait, no, let me go to the front. Fun fact: YouTube lies to you. Someone pointed this out to me. YouTube fucking lies to you and about where you are watching the stream. So by default, right? By default, you're I don't know. Let's see. It's catching up right now. You constantly. Can catch up further than you think by going to playback speed and speeding it up, right? I think this is more of an objective thing, honestly. Wait, no, let me go to the front. Fun fact: YouTube lies to you. Someone pointed this out to me. YouTube fucking lies to you and about where you are watching the stream. So by default, right? By default, you're I don't know. It's catching up right now. Constantly. Further than you think by going to playback speed and speeding it up, right? Like I skipped it to the 0. There we go. Now. Where you are watching the stream. So by default, right? By default, you're I don't know. It's catching up right now. Constantly. Further than you think by going to playback speed and speeding it up, right? I skipped it. Okay, so now there's like a 7-second lag or something on my end. After I sped up. Before that, it was like a 30-second lag, which is ridiculous. So, I don't know. You're watching a live streamer. Hit the fucking ×2 speed on YouTube, and you can catch up way more. It's like a bug on their end, or I don't know. Maybe they're trying to stop buffering from ever happening, so they give like a shit ton of leeway. Yeah, it's stupid. I don't get it. Otherwise, if you watch me on Twitch, then the lag is like, I don't know, 10 times faster. It's like 3 seconds or something stupid. But yeah, and to my knowledge, I think you have to do the speed up thing. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Let's feedback something. Okay. Let's go back to the song. I like those. I like the ramp up LFO filter. Some of the sounds feel kind of random. Like before the drop, there's just like it's just like chill dubby vibey stuff, and then there's just like random tweaking out stuff, which is a vibe. I don't know. I maybe you can make it feel a little bit more intentional and a little bit less random. It doesn't sound bad per se, but I think you could probably improve that. Or maybe just like what can make them fit better, perhaps, is, and I mean maybe this isn't your style, but using low pass filters to open up the sounds. I know you do like the really like clicky, instantaneous, bright synth, just just glitching at you, but I think opening it up will make it less surprising and random sounding, because it's like, oh, I hear it entering the atmosphere from below, stuff like that. Are we doing song reviews? We always are. It is always an option. It just requires someone to request me to do it, then I'll start doing it. But yeah, if you'd like feedback, drop a thing in the feedback Discord. Every few seconds you can click on 2 times speed and it does almost 2 seconds of catching up. Maybe? What? That's weird. Yeah, how much post-processing? I have no idea what Xn sauce is. I mean, it does sound fucking crazy, like excellent, but I would try using filters to open up the sounds a little bit more. You'd also add more variation to the sounds, because you're kind of getting hit by this same timbre and synth the whole time, and so adding an extra dimension to the sounds of how they're entering the fray, that's a whole other dimension of sound. It could be pretty cool. Maybe have some low pass filters entering, maybe you have some high pass filters. It comes from above. Maybe use a combination of both, and then it spreads out from the middle, and then mix that with panning. Have a low pass come up from the left, and then a high pass come from the right, and then they intermingle, and then they kiss in the center, and then they go back. Could be neat. Could be cool stereo imaging stuff going on. Exon has embraced, he just has embraced the OTT click. Can you show us those patches? Well, I can't do it. I could replicate it pretty easily. I'll try to replicate it in a second. Oh, I was gonna say, maybe some dynamics on the like sine wave or the square wave plucky little ARP thing. Maybe just have it enter and then like quiet a little bit and get smaller, just to give a little bit of like depth of field, because it's like dancing around, but it's dancing around right in front of me the whole time. I want it to dance around and go like closer and far and whatnot, right? I think that could be cool, though it's still pretty cool as it is. It's just like a creative idea. I love the like horn bass. Yeah, this is Exon's tune. That ending is so fucking good. The last like minute, the last like minute is so fucking sick. It's really cool. How can I make all those trippy sounds? A distortion and OTT and saw waves and square waves and like no release whatsoever on your synth, and maybe filter it a little bit. Make it kind of format filters sometimes, and then just be really plucky, and then just like arpeggiate around, and then cut things up, resample down to audio, and then just like duplicate little sections around, stuff like that. Oh, I just closed Discord. I didn't mean to do that. So let's, I don't know, the free rate little LFO thing. You could always get something similar. And we'll listen to your thing in a second, Nick. But now I wanna play with fucking synths. Right? I mean, we're already there, man. And then OTT. Fuck it. And then duplicate it a few times. Fuck it. Right? Right? And then I don't know what he's doing. Let's just make a and then we just like hit one of these, and then you get basically just like stack a scale, because I don't feel like thinking. And then we set the shit to random, and then I don't know, swing 16, why not? And then we can record this guy down to audio. Swing 16, right? can take like little bits of audio and then like stretch them, right? And so we can take like that, and then we can take this, and then you can like, if you hold control and click and shift at the control shift and click at the same time, you can start scrubbing through. And then we can like take little bits here, make that something else, and then we'll make you normal rate again. Some shit like that, right? Which is, you know, that's all fun and cool. Now, obviously, you have to like be intentional about how you want to like arrange stuff. And then if you wanted to do the free rate LFO thing, you can just have this set to rate. Right, except his was more like it was like a bubbly sound, so let's make it ramp up. And then let's lower that. Right? Those are like the general, that's generally how I would try to recreate a lot of the sounds Exon was using. I don't know exactly what he's doing, but it just sounds like a shit ton of OTT saw waves, maybe square waves. I didn't even use square waves at all. Some distortion, and like if you plug a formant filter in the beginning of your chain somewhere, that's where you get all the like, you know, yelling people stuff. Okay, just joined the company. Good, Nick. You haven't tried Uzu and Destructor. I don't even know what those are. And it's how you did the LFO thing. Gotcha. It's the instant AU5 VST. Gotcha. All right, let's peep this thing by Nick. It's Cat Attack 1, Master. I like it. I personally would try to tease that a little bit more. Little, you had me at the clicks. I would just like a reverse reverb tail or something. You know, maybe filter it in. Maybe it's like super filtered, and you just hear like a bandpass filter in the really high end, and it just like kind of starts to enter your hearing range. And then there's like a little white noise riser, and then it comes in. Just like a little bit of a teaser, because I had no fucking clue we were entering like breakcore. I feel like at this point, right when that new phrase started, maybe some variation with the underlying like bass piano patches or something, a key change or just a different sound, or introduce another sound besides what's going on, because it feels like it's repeating. Yeah, like I want ear candy or something. Like you can have it keep going the way that it is if you want, but I feel like at this point you should start introducing maybe some shit that's panning around left and right. Yeah, I'm typing. You can see I'm typing plus and minus because that's my mute and unmute keys. I mean, maybe I just don't get breakcore. I don't get breakcore, actually. This is not a question. I don't understand it myself. So maybe this is the style, and maybe that's like what you're supposed to do, where you just keep cutting breaks and you don't add much variation besides that. But I feel like you definitely want. I want more things to be able to focus on. I want movement in the stereo field, some sort of sound design movement, movement melodically or chord wise. I mean, I understand there's a lot of movement with the drums, but it's also just not my cup of tea. So, maybe ignore me. I mean, it's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty bright. It's a bright mix, but you're just like kind of chopping and cutting up like a really bright drum loop the whole time. And the drum loop is super squashed. You could try transient shaping the drum loop a little bit to try to give it like more depth or whatever, but I feel like that's not really what people do in breakcore. Like I feel like what you're doing is like the way that you're supposed to do it. I disagree with it. I disagree with it as a genre, but that's me being a hater. So like I feel like you're not necessarily treating the drums wrong, besides maybe, using like a shelf filter on the EQ just to like lower the brightness just a little bit. But I feel like whenever I've heard breakcore, it sounds like this. So I don't know. I'm out of my depth. And I feel like the clicks are getting lost in the mix because they're so, clicky and instantaneous and small, and there's these super squashed drums that are happening at the whole time. So the drums that are squashed with no dynamics overpower things that are very short, right? Because one is much longer and loud and the other is very short, so it gets buried very easily. So one way you could try to make the clicks more audible is you could try using like really short delays with feedback so that the clicks start like elongating and end up having tails to them. That'll make it stick out in the mix a little bit more as an idea. Or putting like modal filters or something on it. I mean, no, that would make it more melodic. I would try the delay thing if you want the clicks to stick out more, or use a different drum sample that are less squashed or something. But that's a compositional decision, so I don't know. But they're hard to make. Yeah, it just really needs a change up at this point. Like we're 2 minutes in, it's been the same piano loop the whole time. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit, but I think generally changing up more elements phrase by phrase, maybe not the whole time, but like every 16 bars, maybe change up a thing. And again, I do know maybe that's just the way that is done in the genre. Like I've listened to too much liquid drum and bass. I understand that people like repetition with absolutely no variations whatsoever, but at least for me, that's what would make this more interesting. Okay, cool. I like the intro a bunch. I like the clicks. I like the piano stuff for sure. I feel like the piano stuff is setting you up really well to make variations with the piano, right? Because it's like you're like, oh, check this out. I have a whole entire crazy ass piano thing going. It's really deep and dark and brooding. I wonder where this is going to go. And then you add the drums, which I think you could tease in the drums via a riser or a reverse reverb tail, or a filtered version of the drums. And then we need more variations throughout, because it's kind of just the same. Like once the drums come in, it kind of just doesn't change much at all, with the exception of like you add some clicks. The clicks come back in, I think. So just more variation, more things got to switch up, I think. But it's a vibe. It probably would make my friends who love breakcore lose their shit. Like I'm not saying it's bad by any means. It just doesn't click for me. I have friends who love this shit without I don't understand them. I truly don't. But there are people out there, and music is subjective and whatnot. So I think there's a lot of cool creative stuff in here. I like the clicks a lot. I like the piano stuff, and the overall vibe of, I guess, aggressive breakcore over this like really eerie, mysterious, scary, deep piano thing. It's a vibe for sure. Needs more cowbell. I agree on that as well. I think if you add cowbell, the song would be massively improved, unironically. If you add a single 808 cowbell that just happens like once, like not even like in the center or on the downbeat or anything, just like in the middle of some, I don't know, like measure 3.5 or something out of 4, I would instantly change my mind on this track. Yeah, I know that the drums are like changing a little bit, but I don't have the ear for jungle. I really don't. So Rhizomorphic likes it. He just wants a little bit more cowbell. So I would try that out. All right, I see Metronome is typing, and so he's considering dropping a song in the thing. But until that happens, I'm gonna go back to making. Oh no, he's just telling Exon he's fucking awesome in the Discord. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going back to making music now. What song? Oh, we're on this song. Right. I forgot about that. Oh god, the vibe ruined instantly. Got Rhizomorphic going. This technically, I don't know, when I played it for friends who like D&B, they're like, this isn't D&B, it's too slow. So I don't know what you would call this. But I challenge you to make 75 BPM, 76 BPM D&B. The snare sounds like dog shit, and I don't know what I did to make it sound so bad, frankly. What happened to you? Can I just layer? I'm just gonna layer another snare outside of that group and pray. like everything in the song is fine except the snare is just dog shit. So I don't know how to fix that. I know the problem initially came from, yeah, I'm using like a vocoder. I'm using like a vocoder OTT over a snare cut out of a drum loop or something. And then like I liked the sound of that, so then I tried to make it fit, make it sound better by layering it with original sound, because you know when you vocode a drum, it's gonna suck, right? And then I've just been in layering hell, I think, and I just keep layering and distorting and fucking transient shaping and frequency shifting the snares over and over again, because now I'm attached and married to how the snare originally sounded when I first made the song 6 years ago using shitty techniques, and if I use a different snare, I won't like the song anymore because I'm stuck. Oh. It sounds fine in headphones. It sounds fucking great in headphones. Wait, it just sounds like shit on my barefoots. That's probably not good. That's probably not good. You want it to sound good on the good speakers. Like 99% of all the snares I use have been from you, and then the remaining 1% have been from Hoopla. There's like a 0.1% in there that is from this bullshit that I was doing 6 years ago. Yeah. Sounds better now, and I didn't really change anything. Maybe the snare's fine. I don't know. Yeah, I start complaining about snares, and then snare dealers just start popping up, poking their head around the corner, trying to get me hooked. I think I deluded myself into thinking they sound good on my barefoots, so I think I'm fine now. Also, everyone's just gonna listen to this shit on their phone anyways, so I think I'm chilling, right? Surely I'm fine. Yeah, I think the song sounds fine with the exception of the snare. Maybe there's just masking going on from other elements. I need to sidechain more. Maybe. Because what? This is our drums, right? Yeah, you're right, Metronome. There's definitely, I did not notice that until you pointed it out. There's like some really bright ultra high harmonics on the hats. Yeah. Right at 13 kilohertz. And I think it sounds a little bit good that they're resonant around 13 kilohertz, but like it could probably be tamed a little bit. Probably. Rim is a little bit too bright, and by rim you mean the snare? I guess it's like a rim. I don't know my drum terminology, man. But bubbly sound. I don't know. I know all these sounds were made with Synplant. The way I did this is I followed. This is like 6 years ago, but I followed a Mr. Bill tutorial on Hocketing, where you have basically you could twist a single knob somewhere. Yeah, I'm using an old fucking LFO. You can twist this knob and then it enables different drum racks, which then route audio from different lanes. And so each of these different lanes have different patches on them, and then you just twist the knob and it enables the different patches. And every single one of these is just a different random fucking Synplant patch. And then I threw the MIDI that went into this is just a random arpeggiator playing some scale. Yeah, F sharp minor. And then we got a bunch of bubble sounds. The DMB, since the snare's happening so often, find a snare gets better mileage out of being softer than you think it needs to be for me, or touch less bright. Yeah, that makes sense. I tried to go for like kind of a bright snare, but really short. It's not a fat snare. Kind of like minimalist, but yeah, I turned down the highs a wee bit. And I removed the hat highs a little bit. Otherwise, I think it sounds fine. Also, just like accept that like I made the song fucking 6 years ago, so the mix is probably not salvageable in the sense that I'll be able to make it sound like something I can make now. For ear fatigue and room to mix for high. Yeah, that do make sense. Like they know the snare is there. They don't need to hear it really fucking loudly. They're aware of the snare. All right, you don't need to be so loud and obnoxious about it. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Oh, I think I know what sound you're talking about. This? Were you talking about this guy? Which I got that from following a tutorial by, I want to say, Cyber? Maybe? It's like the one time I've ever made anything in Vital. I followed a tutorial. Basically, I followed a tutorial on how to make a certain sound, and then I put a spell book on everything. And so the end result is you got this fucking thing. Ow. Okay, bud. Okay. It just does that. You can just hit random. It was called like, the tutorial was something like Psytrance squelches in Vital. And it uses like additive synthesis or something. Some weird, interesting wavetable, the way that you could translate between wavetables. What's the word? I don't know. Interpolate. You could like interpolate between wavetables using like some weird additive thing, and it sounds fucking crazy. And so if you just like map certain knobs to like switch between certain harmonics and however the way it interpolates, and then you just go crazy with the knobs, it sounds weird. I don't know. That was a bad explanation, but you could find it, I'm sure. I don't even know if you're talking about that sound, but well, hearing this name Sayer more times one song than halftime song. Yeah, it do make sense. And the snare, yeah, it's taken up so much more space and time in the mix. You don't want it to be large. You want it to be short, right? Because then you don't have space for everything else, because you have less space to work with anyway, so you're going to want the snare to be shorter. Yeah. Yeah, that's why D&B really fat snare sucks. And that's why, like, the only time you can really get away with a really fat snare, I feel like, is like dubstep and halftime. Okay, we probably made that song sound better. I think it's fine. What are the other songs we have to do? We did the whale song. We did that one. We did this one. Oh, the scorpion one. When did I make that? I made that, I want to say 22? 23? Scorpion. Did I save you in the new one? I did not. 20. It was like in November when I made it. 22? Yes. It was September. September 21. So this song is 5 years old? No, 4.5 years old or something. So we'll work on that guy. And we'll play this thing. make... Let's do... Okay, we're now working on this song. The song's also pretty old and uses a lot of like outdated, I would say by my own standards, sound design techniques and stuff. So the mix sound's kind of a fucking mess. Yeah. No, I've not. Where the fuck? I don't know this project file. I forgot how this project file is structured, which it's not structured well at all. Where the fuck are the delayed out ping pong delay kicks? These fuckers. Yeah, you're way too loud. Let's just turn you down by 5 dB. And then, yeah. The snare kind of suck. There's also these bubble sounds that aren't supposed to be here. Where the heck? It's not from you, is it? Yeah, where the fuck? Where? Excuse me. It is you. Oh, get the fuck out of here. What are you doing? Okay, the sub is bad. Release is too long. Why is there like a shit ton of compression on you? Why do you do that? Okay, the snare is god-awful. This is just a recurring problem when I'm opening up these, like, super old tracks. And I think we could just cut this entire fucking section over here. You know? Creation or the art of making problems that we can solve, right? Why do you think you got so many unfinished songs, by the way? Because I make a lot of music. Like, and then sometimes the songs aren't worth finishing. And also finishing a song, quote unquote finishing, and having something that I'm happy to release takes like sometimes hundreds of hours. It's a lot of effort. And I don't have enough time to do all that. So I think that's the case for most musicians. I mean, these are all project files, right? These are all attempts at songs. Not all of these are good songs. And so some subset of these songs are good, and of that subset, I only have so much time to actually finish all of them. So it's like a balancing act, you know? So yeah, but you know, I mean, I stream frequently, and like in the past, in the past month, 2 months or whatever, we've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 project files, and I would say of this 10, I think 3 of them are good, which I think that's a pretty good output. Usually it's like, two are good. It's like one in every 10 songs that you make is going to be good. And I think that rule of thumb just always carries forward no matter how good you get. Like, I would say that like 1 in 10 songs when I was, 1 year into producing were like good in that they had good ideas behind it. My skill at the time, how good they are relative to me now, and my skill now obviously is a different thing, but I imagine 20 years from now, when I'm so much better than where I am right now, that ratio is still going to hold up in terms of like what is like actually interesting. I don't know if that answers any questions or not. Anyways, I think we can just cut this whole fucking section out. It's miserable and I hate it. And the song gets good once we get to this section over here. I'm trying to think because like I am kind of in a pessimistic and grumpy mood, so that is affecting how I feel about the song. Yes. But I don't feel like I have any memories of like really truly enjoying this section of the song over here, right? Like sometimes I'll feel like, oh, this song sucks, I shouldn't finish it, or this section sucks and I should get rid of it. But that's because of the mind state that I'm in at that moment. But if I've had moments listening to that song where I got it, then that means it's worth it. Like if I've listened to a song I was working on and I had like extreme euphoria or epiphanies or whatever the fuck while doing it one time, and then every other time I listened to it I didn't have that experience, that means that it still has the potential to do that to other people, right? Because every time you listen to it, you're like a different observer, you're a different listener. So anyways, what I'm getting at is I feel like the section sucks ass. That's basically where I'm coming from. I feel you, I got unfinished projects too. I find that the reason when that happened is because I stumbled to a choice I was not ready to make, so I put it aside. I look at it as kind of like a numbers game. Just like, you'll just make shit. You'll make shit ideas. Or like, you'll make something that's good, but not good enough to show the world. Or to put, like 100 man hours into mixing and mastering and obsessing over and listening to repeatedly. So there's like a quality criteria, and then just like, it just takes a lot of fucking time. At least for me, and I feel like for most people, like perfectionism is a thing. Like that is why I had so little music released relative to like what I make. But if I released more music, then they wouldn't sound as polished as they do. So, but I would have more music out, which would be a good thing. And so it's a balancing act. Usually a rat could give you the correct advice, not a rat. I'm lost. Yeah, this section here, I don't know. Maybe The idea I'm thinking is like this section goes on too long and sounds bad, and I hate it. So maybe we can cut this section out and cut this section out, and we just have to like bridge them together a little bit. So like, hear me out, hear me out. It goes kind of like this. No. Like, I mean, obviously they're not bridging together well yet. Yes. Like, I could make the transition smoother, but I don't think it would work, even if it was made smooth. It's miserable. I hate it. I hate everything. I think I'm too grumpy. I'm too grumpy to work on the song. I am too grumpy to work on the song. How long have I been even doing this for? Probably long enough. Yeah, this one, I don't know. I don't know. It feels too like unpolished relative to what I can make now. I feel like maybe I outgrew this song. I am being crumpy. We need like a whole new fucking drum kit, and we need to change up the sub bass entirely, I think. We need to overhaul something. There's stuff. Yeah, it's just mostly the drums, I think. I think the drums need like a complete fucking overhaul. That's annoying. But yeah, I gotta come back to this when I'm feeling less cranky, I think. Yeah, very, very annoying. Do I stop streaming? Here, let's revisit this song. Here, I'm gonna get some water. I'm gonna get some water and use the bathroom. I'm gonna stretch. We're gonna open up a different song that sounds better. And I'll stop being so cranky. And then we'll keep twisting knobs and listening to sounds. It should be fun. Yeah. Alright, I am back. We are here. And we have this song again. Let's see how it sounds. Hello, sequence of symbols that I don't know. Welcome to the stream. This is mini meters. It is I think they raised the price now. It's probably $20. I got it when it was $10. It's an external thing you just run on your computer, and it just outputs all the sounds as a spectrum analyzer. There's also an oscilloscope, and there's like 20 other features that I never use. I just like the spectrogram a lot. Thank you, Garrett. I appreciate that. feel like we get like a low, no, just like a mids build up in this section. Yeah, it's like a standalone thing. It's not for a DAW or a VST. It's like its own application. Like here, let me unminimize or whatever. It is running down here. It's a whole thing that's just going. So you can just like listen to music and you just have it running. You could watch things. You can watch YouTube videos. You could listen to me talk and then you could route my own voice through it. I can route my own microphone as the input. So if I do this thing here, no, you're tripping. You don't want to do that? That's fine. It's fine. You don't have to. Never mind. It's busted. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyways, I was trying to make it output my voice. I think I need to install drivers or something for this microphone. I don't know. Anyways, it's neat. Would recommend. Okay, this section over here, I feel like there's too many competing elements. I mean, I like them all, but we need to like carve space. All right, we're mixing and mastering with Bloom because I don't feel like fucking figuring this out. So it builds up a bunch around this region. So, oh, geez. I think it sounds pretty good otherwise, so we're just going to automate dry wet on Bloom. Maybe just keep it on. Hold on. All right, hold on. It sounds way different. I need to stop switching between headphones and speak. The fuck is this rack? What? Okay. Apparently. I mean, it adds noise. The noise is kind of cool. I don't. Maybe we turn it off just right there. vinyl? Did I put vinyl distortion on this? Where's the vinyl distortion coming from? Oh! That explains so much. I understand so much now. Any headphone suggestion? Ones that aren't... Oh yeah, I did read a headline that, what? Headphones are toxic, so you don't eat your headphones, something like that. I recommend Sennheiser HD600. I spent for open back headphones, but like it's not like that much sound leaks out of them. I spent like a month researching headphones, and I came to the conclusion that they are the best headphones for anywhere in that price point. If you want flat frequency response headphones for producing, they're like $300, and like the next step up is like you have to spend like $2,000, and it's like a marginal tiny difference. So I wouldn't. I would just get those tried and true. Yeah. I do play shows, not often, but I actually just played my first out-of-state show like last week. I played in Denver, and it was super wicked sick, very cool. I posted a couple clips. No, some people in my Discord actually recorded clips. Damn, people have been chatting a lot today. That's cool. But here's a couple snippets from that first out-of-state show. Is exciting. So, that was fucking awesome and like a really, really cool moment in my career. I don't know, got to fly out to play music. It's fucking super cool. But yeah, I don't play shows very often at all. I would like to. Hopefully that kind of stuff will start happening more often now that there's like some eyes on me regarding like promoters and stuff like that. But yeah, I live in California, so if you're in the California Bay Area, that is where I'm most likely to play a show. But even then, it's still like once every like 4 or 5 months. What's up, Michael? Welcome. We're mixing music endlessly. Yeah. I don't know. I'm making the song sound better. I'm trying to make it louder, just a little bit. I mean, it's kind of a down-tempo song. It hits -7. At like the peak. It's like -9 over here, which is like, I mean, you can have dynamics. Dynamics are fine, right? Now we want that shit loud. Can we just like do this? That'd be kind of funny if we just like slam it. Yeah, if you want it loud, you just compress things. You like the Dream Shaper remix? Thank you, Sparky. I appreciate that because I put so much fucking effort into that, and I felt like, I don't know. I felt like it got a little bit unnoticed. I don't know. Look at me having an ego, wanting my music to be heard, and being disappointed when it's not heard the amount that I deem appropriate. How very human of me. Bloom is fucking crazy. I cannot endorse it enough. Minus the fact that it's $200. That part's kind of stupid. But as a mixing tool, the shit is insane. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm using normally I like to use EQs, like the scale feature within an EQ pretty frequently. Like if I'm like I notice that like I don't know something has problematic frequencies in this area, but like not all the time. You know, if you don't want to use something crazy like soothe or whatever. Because that'll like suck all the life out of your sound. You can just adjust the scale and automate, you know, you're basically automating a dry wet for an EQ, right? It's useful. Bloom basically does that automatically, kind of, and a few other things. But what's really cool is you automate them dry wet for Bloom itself, and then you can automate when the automatic like EQ compression happens. And so there are parts of the mix that are a lot more delicate and difficult to mix down, and that's when I can automate Bloom on and off. It's like the most insane like mixing and mastering tool. Like I'm able to, when I'm mastering other people's tracks, it is invaluable, I find, to solving issues in their mix because it super delicately and dynamically multiband compresses and EQs and shapes everything, and I can enable when I want it on what parts of the frequency spectrum. It's nuts. It like mixes for you, and you're basically just telling the robot when to mix for me and when not to, you know, and to what extent. Is neat. Anyone happen to know of any iOS apps let you play? I don't know of any apps whatsoever. Not just online website and actual app. Yeah, I don't know of any like microtonal apps to my knowledge. You could try asking in the like Zen Harmonic Alliance Discord or something. Maybe someone has an idea, but I've never heard of such a thing. Though I'm sure that there might be. Maybe. I don't know. It is a niche. Yeah. There's like a buildup of low mids right here. Not from the sub. Maybe that is the sub. Maybe that's my room. I didn't even notice. I didn't even notice that was a thing. The low frequencies from this like vibrato crazy sound were kind of interfering with the sub a little bit. I didn't notice until I muted the sub. Okay, I think that is probably plenty of work for today. Yeah, I've been mixing music for 3 hours. I think I'm gonna scrap the fucking Scorpion song, which that bums me out a wee bit because it does some really cool stuff, but I don't know. It just doesn't hold a bar. Like mix wise, it just sounds so much worse, so much worse than this one. And I don't think there's anything I could do. You can't polish a turd, you know? That's the problem when I'm trying to fucking finish songs from like 5-6 years ago. Oh, versus yeah, if like these are all released on the same EP. I don't know. It is a bummer. Who knows? Maybe I'll decide it actually sounds great and it's totally workable and fixable. But I might have to scrap that song, which makes me sad. Does make me sad. Okay, folks, I'm gonna stop streaming. The time has come now where I stop and I press the button and then I go offline. So I'm gonna do that. I may or may not stream tomorrow. I'm not entirely certain. Probably not. Probably not. Maybe. Who knows? But hopefully I continue with this whole productivity thing and mixing and mastering an EP. So that will be good. Hopefully Steam picks up for me. Production's massive. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's happening slowly but surely. Slowly people are trickling in. I'm not having any like big moment where like a single song or clip or show like brings me a ton of attention, but it's been a constant upward ascent, which is cool. That's something to remember, you know, if you're like, you know, you have like a project that, you know, works based on social attention or whatever, is that like people don't really forget about you, right? Like once you make a mark on someone, you know, it just accumulates. It just goes up. So that is cool. That is neat. But yeah, I need to put out more music. That is what I need to do. And so I need to figure this out. Originally I had goals to release like an up-tempo single EP something like about now, but I don't know. I feel hesitant for reasons I can't fully even articulate. Like I don't think the up tempo thing is that great. Whereas I think this down tempo EP that I'm working on right now has a lot more promise. I don't know. I got to think things through, but I need to release more music this year because if we look at this god awful, where are we? Music EP ideas. This is the EP I'm working on right now. This is another EP this is the one I was just talking about that I'm uncertain of. And basically I need to get these out of the way before I can work on this album, because this album needs to be done. I need to release it. I have music on this from 7 years back that I've been fantasizing about how I want to have an album eventually. And then once I've done all of that, once that's clear out of my waiting list, then I can work on the microtonal album, which is this thing. And I've told myself I'm not fucking working on this until I release the album that I've been planning for years. So I basically have a shit ton of work ahead of me, and I need to start putting more songs out. I've been spending too much time trying to make new songs when I have enough fucking work ahead of me. So let's see whether or not I abide by myself. Yeah. Okay, I am leaving. Take care, y'all, and I hope